Hello everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm super happy to see so many unfamiliar faces and of course our students who are here today. Welcome to our very homemade demo day. It's very special. It's very special because of the courses we've had here. It's also very special because it's the first time we're having many guests back on campus. So I very appreciate you being here and the students appreciate a lot of you being here. Very quickly, who am I? I am the city manager for Wagon Munich and I'll be your host for tonight. And the structure for the evening is very straightforward. We're going to talk a little bit about where we are, what Wagon is, what we do here. And then more importantly, we're going to see what the students have built at their time during the last 9 weeks here. And in the end, for everyone who is joining locally, we'll have a nice little celebration of the projects. I think it's a very special batch. It always is a special batch, but it's because of the people who are joining. Once more, we've had people from all over the world. It's always super interesting to see how many nationalities we've had. And it's always very interesting to see the different backgrounds, right? I think as an alumni, and I think for you now, the batch 782 and 783, there's a lot of reasons why we've joined the bootcamp, why we've took on the challenge of, coming into a bootcamp for 9 hours a day and punishing yourself. A bunch of us may have been looking for more challenges at the job that we've been doing. Maybe we were really interested in just picking up some skills and building real things. And most often we were just here to try out something new. So yeah, let's kick off things a little bit with who we are and what we do, right? Wagon, as the name implies, is a very French company. We started in 2013. And by now, including this batch, we have around 15,000 alumni, which is absolutely crazy. That means 15,000 people who came in here, who spent 2 months of their life meeting new people, meeting new cultures, and of course, learning a new skill. We've had a bunch of founders, we've had a bunch of startups created during the bootcamp. We are by now in over 45 locations. So everywhere in the world you go, every major city you go at, you will find us. You will find some people like here. And yeah, let's go to the next one. Amazing. So what are our bootcamps about? The bootcamps here is about a very hands-on experience, right? Every one of us has been at school, at least I hope. Greeting to the people online. Everyone here has been in school and we're all used to this environment where we're learning from a teacher talking, telling us something and us sort of trying to pick it up or at least write a test. That is not the case here. What we do, of course, is we are very hands-on, as everyone can tell you who's done the program here today. We're very hands-on. We start from moment number one. We have a little bit of teaching from teachers who are, very experienced, who are in the industry. And there we have different stacks that we cover. We talk a little bit in one of the batches. We do a lot about web development. We do a lot of web projects. That means, UI, UX, back end, front end. Anything that is needed to build a viable web product. And the second batch that we have, or the second program that we always have running parallel to that, is a very data-focused driven or very data-driven batch. It's the data science one. Here the students learn a lot about how to work with large sets of data. I mean, if you're working in finance or something, you may be used to Excel sheets with 10,000 rows. We're talking 100,000 and higher. And of course, writing some models, writing some machine learning, and anything that is relevant in that field. Cool. We also have different formats. Now in Munich, we've had one so far, but we are introducing a new one. There's a full-time bootcamp, which is the 9 weeks of very intense, in-person learning. And we also have a 6-month program, which is more for the people who are currently working, right? Maybe you might be employed at the moment. You might be looking to upskill, but you don't necessarily have the time or energy to go into a 9-week bootcamp. This program then is for you. Cool. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about what we offer. To make it very simple, what we want to achieve and what we want every student to do is to be able to make a change in their career, right? Everyone who's come in here, they have a background, they have been doing something and we're good at it. But when they leave, we want them to build a foundation in tech with the web development bootcamp, or a specialization with data science to pursue further job careers, maybe become a founder, maybe, just be a little bit more freer. That's why the Wagon is there. It's from traveling. It's from, being able to travel the world and do whatever you're doing. Yeah, of course, there's financing options. We need to talk about that a little bit. We're very, very happy that we can work with the Agentur für Arbeit. The Agentur für Arbeit supports many of our job seekers with an educational voucher. And of course, if that doesn't work for you, we have an option to just split the payment across several months. Amazing. Thanks, Branky. Yeah, there's a lot more facts. So let's talk a little bit about our students before you meet them in person. We've had 25 students from all over the world, all sorts of backgrounds, all ages. I think what's very important to note is they drank over 14 kilograms of coffee in the last 9 weeks. And I think that tells you a little bit about the intensity. It tells you a little bit about how focused they were. We took an absolute lovely picture today with the whole gang. Everyone was wearing very, very warm t-shirts over the shirts they already had, but it made for a really nice group picture. Keep watching out for one of the pictures. I think you might meet us again very, very soon. Cool. That being said, let's go into the pitches. We already have the first one lined up. I don't know about you, but during COVID, I started shopping a lot more. But as well as you would think about a global pandemic, you start thinking about the impact that you have. And I know for sure that one of the groups thought about this as well. We have a very, very stylish gentleman here who's going to present us a little bit about a nice opportunity, a nice alternative that they've built in the last 2 weeks. Please welcome Mario from Refresh.
Thank you, Dion. So hi, I'm Mario, and I'm a fashion enthusiast. However, as you may already know, the fashion industry lacks sustainability. That's why I prefer buying second-hand clothes instead of buying new ones. However, don't you think maybe the second-hand marketplace is a little bit boring? But that was until I discovered Refresh. So Refresh is an app, and it works like social media. In here, you can see looks of people, you can see outfits, and the cool thing is you find something that you like, you can make an offer, and then you can make an exchange. And it's really cool because you can send messages, you can text the people. So recently, I've been searching for something warm for the spring, something cute, something my style. Look, I really like this sweater. So Lena is wearing this sweater, and she's offering for trading the sweater and the pants, but I'm only interested in the sweater. So let's see some details about this. Maybe I want to see if it fits me, the size, looks good quality. So now I have to think something that she may like. So let's see. I think she's a really stylish person, so she probably really likes my jacket, my brown jacket. So let's start and make an offer. Cool. Now I have to receive a confirmation from her, but I can see the status on my dashboard here in my trades. That now that I'm here, I can also see if I have some requests from other people. Oh, cool. I see that Jacqueline really likes my things. But the one on the bottom, I not really agree with her because my shoes are more expensive than hers. So let's reject it. But the one on the top, I really like her brown top. So yeah, I think I can confirm it. So cool. Now I can start talking to her. Maybe if she's online, I can talk to her. Maybe we can meet in person, or we can do any kind of exchange with shipment. Hi, Jacqueline. Oh, cool, she wants to meet in person, nice. Then now I just remember I have these sandals that I don't wear anymore. They are really cool sandals. They are last edition. They are a limited edition from Doc Martens and Lazy Oaf. They are super cute, but I don't wear them very often because they are 2 seasons away, 2 seasons ago. But I would like some new ones, but I don't want to throw them into the trash because they are really cool. And maybe someone can enjoy them. And also they are very, very expensive and they can get it for free. So yes, I think it's really good to put in this in here, and maybe I can get something cool. So I just put a photo here of my sandals. Yeah, they are really nice. So let's create an item, but now the people need to see how it looks on me. So now I just create an outfit, and I have this photo that I took of my boyfriend with me, and I'm wearing the sandals, and I'm wearing the pink top. So it's really cool because people can see how it looks, my top and my sandals. I can start receiving trading offers. So yeah, I just need to write some description, tag the items, and it's easy as that. I can create my outfit. And now everyone can see how it looks, and now I can start receiving offers. And I'm really excited to see some trading offers. And I'm also really excited to see you joining this app. And I want to thank you, my friends, Gille and Christina, for working with me. And I also thank you to listen to me.
All right. That was refresher, but one of our many web development projects. Of course, we also have some data science projects, which you are going to meet now. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the topic of data science, right? It is a little bit of a buzzword at the moment. There might be a lot of things that you're thinking of when you hear it, right? You might think of the movie Terminator, what is an AI, what is it going to do? Or you're going to think about business buzzwords, like some financial people telling you, oh yeah, we definitely need this in business now, we need this here. I personally think it's a very interesting topic when you create something that you can easily understand and makes an absolute sense for the business itself. And one of the projects that we have today, we have two gentlemen presenting it later, is Globalizer, which will solve what I think is a real proper problem. So please welcome Ruben.
So hello, welcome to Globalizer. Today I want to show you a problem that is faced by many businesses who are planning their international expansion. Imagine you have a business, you want to enter a new country, and one of the questions you ask yourself is, where should I open my locations in that country? A location could be whether it's a warehouse, whether it's a data center, or just a sales office. In any case, you want to be as close as possible to your customers, so to the population. And then you ask yourself, where do I open my locations? We have a solution for this challenge based on data and machine learning. How do we do that? We have access to real-world data about population densities. We use that data, we feed it into our machine learning algorithm called k-means clustering, and this will give you the optimal locations that minimize the average distance to the population of a country. If you want to imagine what this looks like, you can look at the next screen here. On the left, you can see our input data. This is our population density mapping, where you can see each point on a map and the associated population density at that point. We use that, we feed it into our algorithm, and then it will give you the perfect centers with the minimum distance to your customers. To give you a better impression of how it actually works, I want to start with a live demonstration, and for that I hand it over to my colleague Arvin. Here you go.
Thank you for the awesome introduction, Ruben. Yeah, also welcome from me. I'm actually very honored to present you our web application, which is the result of 4 young data enthusiastic working on one goal, and that goal is like helping companies find the best locations for their expansion. And in this live demo, I'm showing you 2 use cases. And yeah, with respect from the birthplace, from Le Wagon, we choose France as our first destiny to expand. And let's imagine we have a fixed budget. And this fixed budget is allowing us to open 5 buildings, 5 centers. That's why we choose 5 centers and we calculate this. And now in the back end, the algorithm computes it, and there we get then our results in just a few seconds. And here we see it's just 170 kilometers in average from the center to each customer. And you see on the map the locations, you can hover over it and get the exact address, and you also can change the style of the map if you like another style, like a satellite or terrain. And if you want to save the data, you actually also have the opportunity to download it as a CSV file. And you have also additional data like business, for business content. And that's nice, one country expansion, but what's like when you want to expand to multiple countries, like the DACH region, because they're all like similar speaking German based, right? And you don't have a fixed budget, but you want to, let's say you have the capability to just reach to 100 kilometer radius to each customer. But you don't care if you reach to 100% of the population, but let's just say 80%. So how many centers do you actually need to reach 80% from these 3 countries? And that's what we see just in a few seconds. And beep, beep, beep. Yeah, we see like you just need 11 centers to reach 81% of the whole population from Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And that's kind of very awesome, I guess. And yeah, with these words, I pass again to Ruben. Thanks.
Thank you, Arvin, for that live demonstration. And now that you've seen our final product, maybe you're also interested in what's happening in the background, right? The things that you don't see, because that's also very interesting. Our product basically consists of 3 parts that are all online. First of all, we have our very own database that is hosted on the cloud. Our database was fed from the source data I was talking about earlier. It comes from a service called WorldPop. That's where we get the population density. We transform that data, put it into our very own database that is online, so it's accessible from everywhere. And then we use that data to feed it into our machine learning algorithm that's also hosted online on the cloud. It goes to there, and then this algorithm will then feed the perfect centers to the website you just saw. And the website, we call it front end. And the way these 3 components communicate is via APIs. And APIs are application programming interfaces, and they're just a way for web services to communicate and share information with each other. So we have built all of this in 2 weeks. And then now that we got these results, we ask ourselves, where can we go from here? What could we do next? And for example, what we could do is we can critically analyze our results. How reasonable are they? How do they deal with complex geometries, like when a country consists of several islands? Will it place the locations in the middle of the ocean, or how can we deal with that? Then another question we could ask is, maybe some companies don't only care about the distance, maybe they also care about the price. Like if we can get additional data for the price for the rental price in different locations, we could also take that into consideration. And going a step further, now that we have built all these infrastructure, that we've built our model, and we have all this math nailed down, how about we use that for some actual company data that a company could give us with their real customer locations, and we could tailor our results to the specific needs of one company. Anyway, this is what we've built so far. It was a huge pleasure to build this project, which combines everything we have learned in these 9 weeks. And I would like to extend a welcome and a large and a thank you to my team, Arvin, Martin, Pierre, myself. I am Ruben, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ruben. Thank you, Arvin, for the presentation. I think this was a very, very hands-on approach to what you can do with data. We will see a few more pitches, 2 more pitches today, which will have other very, very real use cases. Now we're going back to another web development project. It's going to be a phone project that is going to cover 2 very, very specific problems, or I would like to say a group of people and a new hobby that some others might have developed. In the last 2 years of the pandemic, I think one of the groups that have suffered the most job-wise is, of course, artists, right? It's already a tough job. You're already creating something. You have difficulties to sell it to begin with. And then during the pandemic, you have even more uncertainty because theaters are closing, galleries are not allowed, and so on and so on. On the other side, a lot of people may have looked at their apartment nowadays and thought, wow, this looks really, really bad. I think I should take a little bit more care about my personal space. And one of the web applications, one of the groups that we have today is Romain and Sophie. They're going to present a nice little presentation on CreaTown. It's going to be an app that will bring those groups together. I think our plant here has a little guest spot in the whole pitch as well. And Romain is going to share his favorite recipes as well. Please welcome the guys.
Thank you. Hi everyone. So as Dion told you, I'm called Romain Gille, and I'm quite a bit French, and I just recently moved into Munich. So as I arrived in Munich, I really wanted to meet new people there. You know, to meet people, to see what people in Munich are doing. because I know many people have passions, many people create things at home, and I really want to know what the people of Munich are creating. At first, it was quite hard to see people, to meet people, to see what they are creating, so I was a bit unhappy. Then a friend told me about this app called CreaTown, where you can easily share stuff you are creating with the population and the neighbors. So let's check it out. I see we have some events and we have creations too from the people of Munich. So let's see what the people have created. I see some paintings. I just recently moved into a new apartment, so I think I will need some ideas for my apartment. And I think Linda with big earrings is beautiful. I like portraiture. So let's check the details. So it's a real person from Cape Town. I like the story. I like the painting. So I think I will like it. So let's check other creations. And I think I will need a plant like this one. I like this one a lot. So let's see what all the neighbors have put on this app. I see the Monstera plant is a really great one. Makes it a bit more tropical. It's a good idea for the apartment. So I like it too. But I came to this app to meet people. So let's see what the events are there and what the people are giving in Munich. Ooh, the pop-up art show looks great. I really like the image. Let me check it more in details. It's in Munich, Kunstverein München. I don't know exactly where it is. It's an exhibition, 22 of March, that's great, I'm available. And I see we have Linda with big earrings. So I will be able to meet the creator of this painting, and I may be able to speak with her too, so I'm really happy. Let's see where it is, more in details. Okay, I see Odeonsplatz, I think it's great. It's near the city center, so it will be really easy to go there. Yeah, I think I will really try to participate to this event. But thinking about it, maybe Julie wants to share some of her stuff and maybe she wants to sell it to the world. So let's ask her if it's maybe possible to buy some of her paintings. Yeah, I just hope she will answer soon. It would be really great. But otherwise, yeah, oh, she answered, great. So they are for sale, perfect timing. Great, so maybe I will just go to the events, meet some people from the neighborhood, see some beautiful paintings, and I may come home with a beautiful Linda. Will be really great. Let me check the name of the plant again, I forgot. It's a Monstera, great, I really have to keep it in mind. I think now it's time for me to share what I love to do with Munich. So I'm French and I love baking. And as a French guy, I have to share my baguette with the people of Munich. So let me add my baguette. It's almost art, but let's say it's cooking. Description, like French people like it. It's crispy in the outside and fluffy in the inside. I baked it just yesterday. And let me add a beautiful picture of the baguette. Great, let me share it with people of Munich. I hope they will like it as much as French people do. Yeah, great. This app was really amazing. With this app I was able to meet new people. I will maybe meet some new friends at these events. I may come back with a fine portraiture of Linda. So I look forward to it. Thank you. I have to go now, check and search for a plant like this one. It was really a blast working with this team, really amazing people. And it was really a blast to present it to you. So thank you.
Thank you, man. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you a lot, Romain. Thank you a lot, Sophie. Now we're going back into another data science project, and the topic here, I would say, roughly is social media. I mean, think about social media, what you want. In the first place, there is a lot of information. It's a lot of people coming together. It's a lot of people discussing topics, sharing their opinions, and to a degree, you can become a bit uncertain about what is noise, what is relevant, what is cool. I mean, if my neighbor tells me, hey, I should definitely buy the next cool thing, amazing. But what happens if, let's say, there is thousands of investors twittering all day saying, buy this, buy that. We're talking about your financial decisions. We're talking about your personal investments. And one of the groups here decided to use large data sets and their skills to answer the question, does the things I see on social media actually influence the financial market? Does it actually influence what I should invest in? And there's a very, very interesting answer to that. So please welcome Social Investor, please welcome Dayus and Moritz for the pitch.
Thanks, Dion. Wow, what a great audience. So you guys have seen some super interesting presentations tonight. Who's ready to learn about some finance, right? Exactly the reaction I was looking for. All right, so this is Social Investor. It's a financial time series / deep learning experiment using social media. And let's get into that. So what is Social Investor? It's an experiment, like I just said, and the hypothesis is, does social media create an impact on financial trends? Is there a correlation, or is there just the absence of correlation? Is there just noise? So in order to measure this, we took the broad market ETF called the S&P 500, better known as SPY, and most financial investors know this ticker to be a representation of the mass market, the top 500 companies in the financial market and how they work together to create trends and how it moves. So we took that and then we did a time series dissection of it in order to extrapolate the trend line and run that through a deep learning RNN. And a deep learning model is honestly just trying to get your computer to think like a human being. And once we have that, we then correlate that with predictions and social media sentiment to see whether it works well or not. The reasons we're doing it is because, one, there's a growing current trend on social media, like places like Reddit, Twitter, where subgroups have started talking a lot about finance. And they're getting really interested in who to invest in and why. The second reason is because news agencies and news institutions are talking about whether these small rogue subreddits and groups actually have any impact on the market at all, or whether they're good or bad for the market. And three, just to be scientific for ourselves, because we're here to study data science, we wanted to see whether this is a correlated effect, whether there's positive or negative correlation, or there's just noise, and we want to measure the specific amount and see what it looks like. So, moving on. We got our data from 2 APIs, which are just fancy ways of saying this website's going to communicate with this website, and we're going to take your data and process it over here. The first one is called socialsentiment.io, where they use natural language processing by scraping data from websites like Reddit and Twitter. And if anyone mentions a stock ticker in a positive light, it registers it as a positive score. If they talk about it in a negative light, i.e. they want to sell it, it registers it as a negative score. And then the activity is just the sheer volume that it's mentioned. The next API we used is called AlphaVantage. And this is the go-to industry standard for financial calculation. They have literally everything you could imagine from economic to financial data. We took, believe it or not, this is a very small section. We took this small section of things that we felt would be pertinent towards financial trends. And we put them into a heat map to calculate the correlation, which we'll see in a second. Right. So, like I said, we just put everything, it's just the same things on the y-axis, the same things on the x-axis, and once you see them in the middle, it's like, okay, these things are correlated or they're not. So we found that CPI, real GDP, MACD have a positive correlation with price close, which is what we're looking at, the target. We want to see where this asset closes at the end of the day. So we took MACD, real GDP, CPI, we infused them with a trend line for the way the market moves, and we used that X set as a prediction on our target Y, which is the price close. Now, I know we've talked a lot about some really heavy finance and data science-y terms that seem absolutely ridiculous, and believe me, like, if someone just came up to me on the street and mentioned a bunch of stuff like this to me, I'd just be like, okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. So trust me, it's a lot more basic than it seems once you look behind the veil. MACD is really just the moving average convergence divergence, which I know it doesn't sound simple, but it's Thanks, Mario, for laughing at me. It's really just taking 9 days of the average price and comparing it to 26 days of the average price and saying, that looks like it's going down, or that looks like it's going up. And that's pretty much it. It's just a measure of momentum in the market. And the next one we looked at is the real GDP and the CPI. GDP is just gross domestic product. It's how many goods and services are produced in an economy in a certain time frame. It's just, if you have an economy, we make this many goods or services. We're a baguette shop and we make 10 baguettes in a day. Your GDP is 10. It's pretty much that. Real just means this year we made 11 because bread was cheaper. So you adjusted for inflation. You could have made 10, but bread was cheaper, so you just adjusted. CPI, Consumer Price Index, is just a basket of the same goods and services that are needed for a citizen to survive within an economy. We use it as a baseline measurement about how much it costs to exist in society and what's the bare minimum needed. So these are like fundamental economic calculations for citizens. So we took those, put them aside as our X set, right? Now let's look at the Y set. Our price close went through a time series decomposition, which is just a fancy way of saying we dissected it into 4 different categories. On the top is the actual movement of the price. Below that is the trend line, which is just if you saw the actual movement, you took a crayon and just drew a line to get the trend line. Seasonal is how it moves per year. And residuals are just like error, just noise in the middle. So we dissect it like that, and we chose to get the trend line out of it because we wanted to infuse this special line into our data set to make sure it has the same trajectory as the market. And as you can see, it's a super smooth line, but it does represent the 2 financial crashes we lived through. Super sucks. And for anyone that's currently invested in the market, bit of a spoiler alert, seems to be a steep correction coming up. So don't get your financial advice from me, but it might be a good time to sell a little bit. And moving on, just to recap, I know we covered a lot in a very, very short amount of time. I mean, it's not over, there's a little bit more. But we took the data from our 2 APIs and we split our X and Y. We then linearized them with the data and ran that all through a neural network to make predictions and compared those predictions to the actual movement of the price. And to visualize all of this, I'd like to call onto the stage my colleague Moritz, who's going to show you some super visual stuff to really solidify everything I've just talked about.
Thank you, Dayus. So my name is Moritz, and I would like to walk you through our Streamlit page, which is basically a web application that we have built to visualize our data and our predictions. At the top, you can see the current price of the ticker, and you can see its respective change from the opening price. The first graph I would like to show you contains the social sentiment data that Dayus mentioned before. In red, we have the positive social sentiment. In blue, we have the negative social sentiment. And in green, we have the total score, which is derived from both values. We then took this total score, divided it by the activity, and got the weighted social sentiment, which we used as the first feature to feed into our model, in our neural network. So we used this data to train it together with the price data of the ETF. And now, in the next graph, you will see the first prediction from this very simple neural network, which just had 2 features to train. At first sight, this looks very good. We have in blue the real financial data. We have in red our prediction from the model. And at the bottom in green, you can see the error, which is basically the difference between the real price and the prediction. The reason this looks so good is actually that the model is overfitting. And this basically means that the model is just predicting what it just saw. So it's saying, hey, look, this price from yesterday is probably going to be the same today. And that's not very useful. You can't use that for financial analysis. And you can also see that the error is getting bigger with the time. And the reason for that is that the social sentiment data was fetched for the past 2 years. And you can actually see that with the social sentiment data, the error is increasing. So it seems like the social sentiment data is introducing some noise and some error to our model. And therefore, we built another more complex neural network, which contains the features that Dayus mentioned before, being the CPI, the GDP, the MACD, and the trend line, which was derived from the chart of the ETF of the SPY. This is the graph I'm talking about. Again, we have in blue the real price data and in red the prediction. And this one does not look quite as fancy as the first one. But remember, this model did not see the price data during training, so it's actually a lot more accurate. It's not just predicting what it just saw, it's actually making predictions on the features that we fed it that have correlation with price but are not the price. And as you can see, this model is very good at predicting general trends and movements of the market. We can see that it caught the Corona crash. You can see that it's generally following the movement of the ETF. And overall, you can also see that it caught up the current crush of the market. So it is basically very useful to predict directions, movements of the ETF. It might not be perfect, but with more time, more data, we will increase the accuracy and the precision. Last but not least, I would like to show you a live prediction from a model. This is the live prediction. In red, you have the predicted price. In blue, you have the actual live price. And you can see there is a big gap. The reason for this is that we predict the closing price and the markets are still open. So we still have some time left for the markets, for the market price to reach our predicted target. And in the meantime, I would like to ask Dayus back on stage for some concluding thoughts.
Thanks for that, Moritz. Those are some super tasty visuals, weren't they? Love them. So I hope that solidified what we talked about just like a second ago, right? Or like give you some idea? No? Yeah? Perfectly fine, it's finance, who's gonna use that anyway? But in conclusion, yeah, let's, then we can say with data and scientific proof that social media does not have a correlation to the market. In fact, it does just create noise. So if you're like me and you're gonna hear about GME really popping in all the subreddits and then invest your life savings in it, maybe look at some financial indicators first, like economic and financial trends such as real GDP, CPI, and MACD, before you just go straight into that. But I mean, no regrets, right? In conclusion, well, thank you for your time. I'm Dayus, and I'd like to thank my team, Moritz and Anna, for all their hard work. If you guys would like to read more about this, I mean, who would? But there is further reading in the slideshow afterwards, but that's up to you guys. Thank you again. Ciao.
Thank you, Dayus. Thank you, Moritz, for presenting. The group's Notesconnected has worked very, very focused on a different challenge regarding artists. We already spoke about the art that you're bringing home. We already talked about, sculptures, painting, and even plants today. But a different group of artists that exists is the musicians. We may even have one or two here. You'll find out later. And this group, is very profiting from life right now. COVID is making things a little bit more relaxed. We're all sitting here together. Clubs are opening up again. Concerts are opening up again. And there is already a solution to help you find just the right gig for the next weekend. Please welcome Hasib.
Hello everyone, my name is Hasib and I would like to show you something really cool. So we've all had this problem in our lives, and what do I mean by problem? It's a night out with friends, and we're usually going to the old boring place, or we spend too much time arguing where should we go next. In order to avoid paying expensive tickets for high-end places, and we have Notesconnected. In essence, Notesconnected is a hub that helps us find cool and interesting events in our area, and it helps connect indie music bands and solo artists with the regular everyday user. And to go a step further, it helps us create an event of our own. So right here we have suggestions and categories we can search through, but since me and my friends and I are free this weekend, I guess I'll take a look at the upcoming events. Right here we have really cool looking events that fit basically everybody's tastes, but I guess I'll take a look at the guitar solo. Right, so here we have everything we need to know, like the date and time of the event, where it's taking place, even how many people are joining. And the host left a nice little description of the event. Speaking of the host, I think we should check out his profile and see what the other users think about him. So cool, we can see here he's already had many followers and a few reviews. Looks like he's very popular here, so I guess it would be worthwhile to go to his guitar solo. So we will join this event, and I'll leave a nice little comment saying I'll bring my friends. Now that this has been done, I don't know if you guys know, but the corona restrictions are being lifted, so I will use this opportunity to make an event of my own. And since we have something to celebrate today, I've even asked my friend Boris to provide some live music. We will create an event, celebration party, graduation party here at Le Wagon today. I even had the opportunity to take a picture with my whole group, so we'll post that too. Right. Great. It's a dance, of course. Cool. So to confirm if everything is working, we might take a look at our profile, where we can see all the events we hosted or we're going to attend. So I'll use this opportunity to invite all of you to come and join us tonight for our graduation party here at Le Wagon. Don't forget to join our event and leave a nice comment. Thank you very much. See you there.
All right. Thank you very much, Hasib. For the final data science project of the evening, we have a little bit of a special solution. We already looked at two very, very interesting data science projects that solved, what I think are mathematical problems, right? This is a very clear case. Okay, it's math. Okay, I'm trying to calculate something. It's already hard enough as it is. Of course, I'm going to have some algorithm decide something for me. But what if you need a creative solution? Imagine you're taking an absolutely lovely picture, you're uploading it, you want to show off to your friends, but obviously you need a very, very nice text with that, and you just can't come up with something like that. I think that Quotes for Your Post, it's a very long name, has the solution for you. Please welcome Annamaria on stage.
Thank you, Dion. Welcome, everyone. My name is Annamaria, and I'm very happy to be here and to present you Quotes for Your Post, which I worked on very hard with my colleagues, Ali, Mohana, and Morad. And now, although the name speaks for itself, let's get into it, in what situation, in what cases you can use this application. I'm pretty sure that you've been in situations when you wanted to post a picture, but you were wondering what caption should I use to my picture, what would be really good to it. So we have a solution for that, and just by one click, you can get a quote as a suggestion from us that is suitable to your picture. Not just on social media, but actually even if you're just making a scrapbook, and you want to write something nice to your picture, you can get a suggested quote from us, and it can make your memory actually even more lively. So now let's get into it, how our application website really works. So first, you just upload your picture, and then, as I mentioned before, one click, and you get a list of 5 quotes from us that are fitting to your picture. After that, if you think that the sentiment is probably a little bit different, let's say you have a picture of a building, but actually the sentiment of it is more melancholic, more sad because you're moving out of the city, let's say, then you can pick your own tags. And then based on these tags, we can still give you the most suiting quote out of our data set. Now to give you a visual, let's go to our website and guide you through how it looks like and what functionalities we have. So as you can see, we have some demo pictures. Just to show you how it works, let's pick cat. And then, as I promised, just one click on show me the suitable quotes. And then after your picture is being displayed in the middle, you also get a list under it after a small computational time. Exactly. And then also the guidance is there that you can go back to the sidebar and give in your own tags to specify the sentiment if you want to. But now let's look at the other functionalities that we have. So as you can see, we have a little section about our team where you can learn a little bit more about us. But also, you can just give us tags. You don't even have to upload a picture. And even just based on the tags, we can still give you a suitable quote if that's what you require. Or you can just upload a picture, but that part will be shown to you guys live a little bit later on. And now let's go back and talk more about how the website actually works and how we go from one picture to an actual quote. So basically, we used 2 data sets. We needed pictures, so that's one data set with their captions, so that makes us be able to predict what's on your picture. And then we have another data set with quotes, with their authors and their tags, and that will help us to give you quotes as a suggestion. But because we work with pictures and words, quotes, and our models work with numerical data, we needed to convert them to numbers and vectors. And to do that, on the photos, we used a flattening technique. And on the quotes, we used a vectorizer called TF-IDF vectorizer, which actually made all the words to vectors, to numerical data, basically. But because the data sets are huge, so we're talking about 32,000 pictures and 500,000 quotes, we decided to first filter on both of them. To do that, for the pictures, we used a CNN model and then a cluster analysis, and then we only took the most fitting category of the uploaded picture, and then we got your caption, like the content of your photo, based on that category. And then this caption is already a word-based caption, which can be an input to the next data set. So the next data set, we take this input, the caption of your photo, and then we use a latent Dirichlet allocation model, which actually does categorization. We said that it should do a categorization into 5 classes. And then, just within the topic of your caption, we give you the 5 best matches. But if you have a different sentiment to your picture, you give us your tags, and then we give you the most fitting quote, but outside of that category. And now it really shows us how helpful and really useful and important vectorization for us is. Because now we could actually use the images and the words, put it in the model, and then from an image, we go to words in the middle, just using numbers. But to do that, all the models needed a lot of hyperparameters. Hyperparameters are parameters that we have to choose before even fitting the model. So because it's a huge job, we actually got some help from grid search, which is a tuning technique. It actually tries to find the most optimal values for your hyperparameters. So we took them. And obviously, for the future, this is going to be an infinite and the most important job for us to fine-tune our model even more, even better. And now, too much about the technical side. Let's show what happens if you actually upload a picture to our website. So actually, a colleague of mine wanted to post a picture of himself, and he was wondering what kind of a caption he should take. So let's see what happens if we upload his picture of his family trip. As I promised, one click, and wait for it. Voila, there is the list, the top 5 quotes that are the most suiting to the picture. And then the little guidance that you can actually give a better description of the sentiment. So let's say family, memories. And because it was quite an adventurous day for him, adventure. And then, after submitting the topics, let's see what happens. A little bit of magic. And then, there it is, a nice quote from Jane Austen. So after showing you guys how it actually works, let's go into the potential of this project, because actually it has a lot. So we could also build some hashtags to the quotes so that you can copy them with the hashtags together, or you could get direct information on the authors of the quotes, or actually even some specific areas in marketing. They could use our application, for example, in film production. If a marketing team would want to use our app, they could actually take the subtitles of their recent movie and get the quotes from them, and we can work with that as well. And with these words, I would like to say a huge thank you for your attention, and also thank you very much for all my colleagues, Ali, Morad, and Mohana, for all their work, all night, all day, and obviously to all the teachers who helped us make it work. Thank you for everyone.
Super good, super good. Thank you very much, Annamaria, for your presentation. We are reaching the closing event, or the closing pitch of today's demo day. We are now transitioning back to a last web development project, and it's going to cover, I think, one of the oldest hobbies you can have, at least one of the oldest modern hobbies that you can have, reading, right? So this group specifically must have been a bit bored maybe during the pandemic, must have been at home and reading a lot, and they must have had the idea where they came up with, hey, a hobby is only really enjoyable if you get to share it a little bit with other people, right? There's many specific problems that come up with it that we'll learn about, but I think Nicola will tell you personally about it. Please welcome her to the stage. Please welcome ReadCaps.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicola, and as you might very well know, I'm an avid reader. I really enjoy reading fiction books and books that are part of a series, and I do have the bad habit of starting a series and not finishing it right away, and I might wait a couple years until I read the next book. So I really like to use this website, ReadCaps.com, where other people can go on and fill out a recap of a book that they've just recently read. So it's really great for me when I don't remember what happened in the last book of a series I'm reading, and I just want to get caught up on the previous book. So I'm about to have a bit of time on my hands finishing school, and I'd like to finally finish reading the Harry Potter series, because I don't really remember what happened in book 1 of Harry Potter. I'm going to check out on ReadCaps of all the different books they have and see a recap for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Looks like they've got a couple people recapped, and I want to check out this one. It looks about good, and we'll see, if this helps me out. It doesn't quite have that much information, and it looks like it's only got a couple bad reviews, so I'm gonna look at the other recap that's got 4 stars. This one looks a little better. It definitely has a lot more information, but it's a little too much information for the moment, and I don't wanna read it all right now, so I'm just gonna read the key points just to get a brief description of what happened in the first book. And yeah, no, it was very informative. So I'll write a review and let them know that I thought it was a nice recap, and I'm gonna give them 4 stars because I liked it. But I might have time over the weekend to read the whole thing, so I'm just gonna save it to my library so it's there for me when I wanna look at it later. And because I really enjoy this website, I've written a couple recaps of my own, and other people have read them, they've rated them, they've given me nice stars, and I just finished reading a book, so I'm going to add a recap for the book I just finished and put it up there for other people to read. So I'll put in a brief summary of what happened in the book, and I'll add some key facts that I think are really important for people to know, and I'll submit it so that it's up and it's online, and everyone can go on and read my recap and write a review if they like it. And I tend to be a bit of a competitive person, so I noticed that they have a ranking system on their site, and it looks like I am currently in the #1 spot with 4.5 stars out of all the other people that have written recaps. Yeah, so I really enjoyed making this website with the lovely girls in my team, Melissa and Anna and Michelle. And thank you so much for watching us and enjoying us this evening.
All right. Thank you, Nicola, for presenting. We are reaching the end of the demo day. For all of our guests who are joining us online, I'm talking to you specifically. Thank you very much for joining today. Thank you for joining our demo day from wherever you are. We have several new bootcamps coming up very, very soon. I hope you got a little bit inspired by what you saw today. It's absolutely crazy what people can build in a short time, and I'm still excited. And for everyone else who is still here, we have a little bit of a closing ceremony, and I would like for a very big applause while we hand out the certificates to the groups in the order that they've won or that they finished their pitches in. Thanks a lot.